Welcome to Wallace Branch Library Adult Craft Class. My name is Sandra May, and today we're going to do a beaded necklace. This necklace is very easy to make. It doesn't take very long to make it, and it's very inexpensive to make. I got the idea from a YouTuber that goes by the name of Useful and Easy. So let's get started. This is the necklace we're going to do today. It's the white and silver, but I also did it in blue and silver and in gold and white, just to let you see it in other colors. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The material you'll need for this class will be a lobster claw, a jump ring, a 6mm pearl, a 4mm bead. You'll need some thread, and I got just regular thread to do this tutorial, but you can also use the beading wire or the beading cord. You'll also need 2 needles. You can use the beading needles, or you can just use regular needles like I'm going to use for today's class. For the thread, I just measured my thread out for 64 inches long. So I just took my thread and I measured out 64 inches and I just doubled it. So that gave me 32 inches length. And the next thing I did, I took my 2 needles and I threaded it on my thread, like so. I got 1 needle here and 1 needle here. To get my clasp on, the first step was I took my thread and I took my lobster claw. I threaded my lobster claw onto my thread. Let's start from this end instead of that end down there. Put them ends together. And then just thread that on through that lobster claw end. And pull it all the way down to the end. And take the tail through, causing that slip knot. And this is what we got. I took the end of my thread and I took my needle threader and threaded one end, and then I threaded the other end, and this is what we got now. 2 needles at the end, our lobster claw here. And the clipboard is just going to hold it in place for us and make it a little bit easier so it keep it from sliding so much. So I'm going to just open up this clipboard, put just a lobster claw under there. That's going to hold it in place. And we're going to keep our needles separated. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of the 4mm beads, silver beads. Well, your beads can be any color you like, whatever colors you want to make your necklace in. These are just the colors I chose, but you can choose any colors you like. But you just put that first bead on, take it all the way up to the top, and then you take the second needle. So we're going to just thread that through the opposite direction of the bead. Here we go. And just pull it through. And that's our first bead, and that's our start. And we're just going to slide that bead all the way up to the top. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to put 3 beads on each side. 3 of the little 4mm beads. you push it all the way up to the top. I kind of got my lines crossed up. Okay, and then we put 3 on the other line. Okay, now that we got those 3 on, that's the beginning of the necklace. I'm gonna push them up to the top. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep on doing this, or we're gonna put another one of the beads on, and this time we're gonna put the white 6mm bead. And this is gonna be our crisscross bead. So we slide that one down on the thread, and then we take the opposite thread and go the opposite direction. So the opposite direction. So this is our first. That's the beginning of the necklace here. So, and now we just keep the whole process going. We put thread on 2 of the 4mm beads, round beads. And this will be our pattern. It's 2, then 1 white, 2, then 1 white, 2, then 1 white, until we get ready to change over to the other side. Okay, now put 2 on the other side. White. The white. That little hole is coming out. I may have to put my glasses on it. And I think I am going to have to put my glasses on. So we put that on one side. We take the opposite needle. Go back through that bead from the opposite direction. Excuse me. Now this is a very quick necklace to make, but me standing up, it kind of makes it a little awkward. But that's our second so-called stitch. So we'll go on with the 2 silver beads. To the top, and then with the other needle we'll get 2. And one of the 6mm, and then crisscross with the other thread. Push that up to the top. And the board really do make it much easier, and it kind of keep it where you can keep it kind of pulled kind of tight, and it keep your work looking nice the whole way. And you don't have to wait till you get to the end and pull it tight. I finished complete 24 on one side, and then I do the centerpiece, and then I do 24 on the other side. And now that necklace, it makes a good length for me. But if you want a shorter necklace, surely you wouldn't use as many beads of the 6mm beads. Let's count those beads and see if we got our 10 on there yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we got 10 on there. Now, since we got 10 and we're not going to go the whole duration of the and do 24 like I normally do for a necklace, like this one. This one has 21 per side. This one and the blue one has 24 per side. And that's just to give you an idea, kind of like. And this bead here is a little bit different. It's not quite round. It's kind of like oblong, and it kind of makes the necklace kind of different. So I like the rounded beads. So that's why I say rounded bead works best for this particular craft. So, but we got our 10 beads on there. Now, the way we get this little center is that right at this point now, we're going to take one of the sides and we're going to load 3 of the 6 millimeters on this time. 3 of the 6 millimeters. And then we're going to go to the other side. That's going to be our crisscross bead. So we load 3 of the 6 millimeters. And we go to the other side and we going to load just one of the 6 millimeter on my center. So we're just going to put one of those. Now, like I said, this is the crisscross bead. So if we put it on, what we're going to do is hold it down and we're going to just take that other side right through that bead, because that's the crisscross bead. And we're just going to pull that through. And you'll instantly see that curve of the V of the necklace. So what I like to do is I'm going to move this out of the way, one thing. I like to turn my board a little bit so I'll be at a different angle. Because angle is important to me. I'm quite sure everybody else can still work from that same angle, but I like to turn my board. So I'm going to turn my board a little bit and kind of pull that a little tighter so you can see how that is forming. So let's kind of pull it a little bit tighter so you can see that. So now we're going to work from this side here, on this side. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to loading 2 beads on this crisscross side. So we're going to go with 2 of the silver beads again, 2 of the 4 millimeter. Exact same thing that we did when we got started on the other side. And then we're going to put 2 on the other side. Also need that crisscross bead, which will be that 6 millimeter, and then we crisscrossed out the thread. Continue on. 2 of the 4 millimeter. other side. A crisscross bead. You can instantly see the V already formed here. So you just keep on going until you get your 10 on this side. Okay, at the end, what I like to do is make sure that they are tight, that all the beads are threaded on kind of tightly. Kind of tighten it up. And you can see the necklace is already formed. So there's the necklace already there. So all we got to do is just finish it up. Put that in on there, and then we'll be done. So the way we finish this necklace off is that we started with 3 on, and then that last one where we passed through, that was the crisscross bead. And that's how we'll end it. So I'll thread 3 on one side and then 3. That's another one of those double beads, defected bead. So here we go. We thread 3 on one side. And what you do on one side, you have to do it on the other side to keep it even. So that's 3 on one side. So we'll go to the other side, we'll do 3. 3 on this side. And then we have to have that pass-through bead, that crisscross bead. The last one on the end. And like I said, I like to keep on keeping it tight. Tighten my work. And so now we're ready for the end, the very last bead. So we take this one, put it on one thread in one direction, and then we take the other needle, that's the crisscross. We come in the other direction to end it. So that means what we did in the beginning, we did at the end to finish it, to conclude it. So there we go. Make sure we get all the slack out. And once we get the slack out, you can see the V, it formed very lovely. So it has got that V. All we got to do is go back and put that center bead in the very center. So what we do with that end bead, now that we got it on, is that we're going to take these 2 needles, we're going to keep them on there, but what we're going to do, we're going to tie a knot in them. We're going to crisscross that, and that's going to put a knot in it. So, and that's going to keep it in place. Come forward so you can see. So, here we go. And you're just going to tie that knot down so it'll tighten all that work up. And so, see? That puts it in there real tight and nice. And we're going to put that last. I'm going to tie one more knot in there because I just like to be extra safe. So I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be extra safe because you put all it, and when you invest that much time, I threaded one of my needles, which it's okay though. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and put another knot in there. And it's ready for that clasp, that last piece on the end. Now, I told you we're going to use a jump ring, but in the tutorial, used a single jump ring, but I don't like to use the single jump ring because it has a split. If you can see that split right there, the thread will come out, always slips out of that split that you can see. So I don't like to use the single jump ring. So I went back to Michael's and I bought the double jump ring. Now what the double jump ring do is it's got 2 layers. So therefore there's not a little slot foot, the thread to come out of. So once you thread that on, you don't have to worry about the thread slipping through because it's secure. And so you just thread it on just like in the beginning when we started off. I'm going to take that through. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get this tail right away. Just going to reinforce the end. Just go right down through this first line of bead. That makes that end more secure. And go through the 6mm bead. And then I'm going to come back up the other side. And then I'm going to tie it off. And then we're going to put our center. Clasp is not going to go anywhere this time. So I'm going to take it through this one again, and then I'm going to take it down through and tie it off. We're just going to make a loop, which is a knot. And voila. Clip it. I won't clip the tail this time, the wrong thread, like I did last time. The necklace, and we're going to go for that center. At the end, we're going to tie it on here, about right here. And I like to double thread it. I mean, have the 2 strands rather than the 1. Yeah, I think it's just securing it a little bit better. Take it all the way to the end. Knot is not going to show. The beads will slide down on the knot, and nobody ever see the knot in the thread. It'll just be tucked away, all snug down inside the bead. Okay. And all we got to do is put that center in there. Now that we got that in there, we're going to take the needle and stick it up through. We're going to stick it up through that first bead here. And up through that center, that first white bead. And then we're going to take it, pull it through. And then we're going to put another white bead on. Like so. And we're going to position this bead in the center. Just like you see on this one here. You position that middle bead right there in the middle. And then you sew it down. Get it off the clipboard so you can hold it up in your hand. And what I like to do is hold it up so I can sew that middle bead in that middle spot, right in that center. So bring it right in that center, and take it through this next bead here. Scoop it under and just loop it so it'll make a knot. And the knot will hide itself. And that's our necklace. Okay, that's it. Ta-da! Have a great day.